So we just finished week-long training, Momentum Contact Facilitator Training. What was Momentum Contact Facilitator Training about?
Well, for me, this training was really about getting a good feeling for how to bring people into dance practices that are very lightly structured, as contact improv is. And we're talking about bringing people who don't have necessarily a lot of experience with dance practices either. So Aaliyah has put together a really graceful entry into these kinds of practices and practice spaces, and the training was basically in that and how to present.
What did you enjoy the most this week?
I really enjoyed the actual dancing practices. Yeah, for sure. It was good to work with an experienced dancer. It was good to just take time for myself as a teacher to just sort of not have the teaching agenda in place for me. So it was really nice.
How did you feel about all the technical parts we learned in contact improv? How did that go?
Those are really useful for me. Since I teach asana, it's something for me to glom onto, but it's also really helpful for me um, as a teacher in order to kind of get a sense of how to work with more open spaces for people as well. So that was all very useful.
And how did you feel? How do you feel after teaching yesterday? So part of what we did was you got to teach as part of a momentum workshop. How did that go?
Yeah, it went fairly well. It was a learning experience for me, which was the whole point of going through training. I learned a lot more about what works and what is difficult. Yeah, it doesn't work the same when you're traveling across the room at a half run than it does when you're standing still.
And do you feel were some blocks perhaps in teaching when you came in here, and then like now that there's something that you've overcome or you've learned that would be helpful in sharing the practice?
Not so much on a personal level. On a practical level, starting to understand the difference between more dynamic movement and how you need to teach that differently than when you're in a more static condition. That's something that really came to me through the teaching over the weekend, but it's also been something that I'm clearly going to have to engage with more to really kind of bring it into my own language and means of teaching.
How do you feel about contact improvisation now? Has this sparked something in you? Because you really nerded out on all the things that I gave you, so yeah. I want to know where is this taking you into diving deeper into the practice?
Well, I really appreciated a lot of the cultural context for contact improv. I mean, I grew up. I'm a little bit too late to have probably been in that age cohort that kind of invented it. So I kind of grew up, following behind, and people like Merce Cunningham and Cage, who was his bestie, and Martha Graham, and all those people were real lights to me when I wanted to go into dance, but such was life in the 80s that was not a thing. So I really enjoyed that a lot. I think I'm kind of ready to call myself a dancer in some sense. I'm not fully professional performance dancing, but I definitely have that as being a big part of my practice. So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, we gave a lot of context about like the history of contact and where things come from, just to understand the backbones of where this is arriving at today. And what's next for you in teaching contact? I know you're an American living in Ireland. What you gonna do next now that you've finished?
Yeah, so I have been talking to some of my contacts in a lot of the contacts in that sentence. I've been talking to my contact friends back in Dublin while I've been here, and we've been talking about various ideas about, ways to structure practices and how things work. I've been practicing with the Dublin Contact Improv community, but I'm definitely going to be bringing these tools into my overall teaching of embodiment practices.
Amazing.
So,
In Dublin. Great.
in Dublin.
What brings you the most joy in contact?
The I really there's like these surprising moments of joy that just happen, and it's kind of like a laugh out loud funny moment where something worked or it didn't work or whatever, but it's also coming up out of nowhere, and it's arguably that's the reason why I keep doing it, is because there are just these little kind of flashes of light that just keep happening, and it's something that really only comes when you have people actually interacting, right? So I guess really if I was going to be more concrete about it, it's the interaction of contact improv that is to me the secret sauce in it as a practice.
Amazing. Okay, anything else you'd like people to know if they were considering to take the training, if they're thinking about doing this?
Make sure you have the time to devote to it. I was a bit distracted for the first section of it, and it meant that it took me a little bit more time to get on board with some of the cultural materials. I mean, that's also part of why you have some extra time to work with it. So, but it's like with most things, the more attention you can give it, the more you're going to get back out. So.
And how has it been for you to come to Bali and to do this training at our venue?
Well, the venue is gorgeous. I've been to Indonesia here and in Bali many times, so I love coming back. So yeah, it's a good place.
Anything to share about Aaliyah?
She's really tiny. You don't get the impression so much on Instagram. But she moves beautifully, and if you thought you could never lift anybody, you can lift Aaliyah.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much. That's it.